It can be a little tricky when you're committed to another person, but not quite ready to get married just yet or even live together. Many couples in their 20s are trying something called stay-over relationships, living together and on their own. CBS News correspondent Bill Whitaker explains.
I'm really hungry.
Spencer and Sarni are both in their 20s, and they've been dating seriously for the past 8 months.
Well, she's beautiful, for one, and just has a way with people and myself.
Yet, despite their love,
That was the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
they haven't committed to living together, at least not all the time. A few nights a week, Sarni will spend the night at Spencer's, but she also looks forward to the time she spends alone at her own apartment.
I like to have my own personal space. I like to come home after work, be gross, watch my soaps, watch my reality television.
A new study calls this a stay-over relationship, couples living together and apart, a choice that's increasingly popular among people age 18 to 29.
The individuals in my study enjoyed the comfort and convenience of being able to stay overnight with their partner, but they were benefiting from not having to worry about some of the responsibilities of more formal commitments.
No emotions, just sex.
It's something more than your classic friends with benefits. These are committed monogamous couples. The study says there are tangible benefits from a friendly stay-over relationship.
They had conversations about their families or their beliefs that were more in-depth and different than they did if they were just going on dates and then coming home.
I think it allows you to just kind of grow on your own too, and at the end of the day, if you are excited to see that person, then you know, it wasn't really forced upon you, it was more your choice.
Happy Monday!
Stay-over couples say they have the best of both worlds, creating a comfort zone between being single and making that final lifelong commitment. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And joining us now is psychologist and early show contributor Dr. Jennifer Hartstein. Doc, good to see you.
Good morning.
I love the guy's comment there at the end. Hey, it gives us time to grow. It gives me time to... Come on, this is for commitment folks, right?
Well,
let's spade a spade here.
It's an interesting kind of balance between trying to figure out what you want and trying to figure out who you are. So is it for commitment folks? We could argue yes, and at the same time we could argue that maybe it's going to build stronger marriages down the road. Who knows? The research is early.
But this is a trend that's really kind of starting to take shape now. Why didn't this happen years ago, or was this just not PC at the time?
Well, I think it ties into this idea that we're all talking about extended adolescence or emerging adulthood, where we really need to think about there's this time period where they're all trying to figure out who they are. That didn't happen when our parents were younger. Even when we were younger, it was you went to college, you got a job, you got married, and that's changed now.
That's kind of a lame excuse, though, that whole... I mean, it is. It's kind of a blanket excuse. I'm just trying to find myself. It's kind of along the lines of, it's not me, it's not you, it's me.
Well,
that type of thing.
Yes and no. If we think about the economy, people are really staying in school longer to get higher degrees. They're trying to get established in jobs. So they're really taking the time to establish their life and their careers and then committing to marriage. So they won't want to miss one and then join the other and then regret that they didn't do something they might want.
With that said, people are getting married later in life now. What do you think the major cause of that is?
I do think that it ties into what we were just talking about, getting yourself settled, later degrees. You don't want to be married necessarily while you're in school and you can't support a family, or setting up a career where you're making money, or really learning to know what it is you want in a marriage. I think a lot of the generation now comes from divorced parents and don't want to have that happen again.
Is this sort of a test drive for marriage, and even a test drive for living together? I mean, it gives you, they always say you really don't know someone until you live with them.
Absolutely, and it does give you that option. It does allow you to get a little glimpse into it so you can see if it's what you want to do, if it's what you want to pull back.
Can this also hurt marriage, though, in the same effect? Because you start doing this, and that couple look pretty happy. Maybe they say, well, you know what? Maybe it'll make the ultimate commitment.
It's true, and the fact is that this research doesn't show any long-term effect, but there is research that shows that living together before you get married can hurt your marriage. So we have to figure out what this will do, good or bad. Maybe it's the best blend of both worlds.
And like the young lady that we just saw said, sometimes you just want to go home, be gross, watch your soaps, and just not have to worry about it.
Absolutely. Sometimes you just want to do what you want to do without having to worry about anybody else.
I can't wait to get out of here and go home,
There
be
you
gross,
go.
and watch my soaps.
You can watch your soap operas. Go for it.
Dr. Jennifer Hartstein, good to see you here this morning.